Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And a very good morning. I'm Dave Adams. 11:06 is the time. This is Valley Talk, and a very good day to you. And this kind of a cool day here in the Mid-Willamette Valley. We have a three-segment part of the show today, three segments on the show that we're going to be sharing with you. First of all, we're going to be talking about the Tree of Remembrance ceremony. It's tomorrow night at Albany City Hall. And we have a gentleman in the studio today with us, Sergeant Eric Judah of the Albany State Police. Sergeant, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, thank you.
We'll call you Eric.
Thanks.
Please turn off your cell phones, please. We will do that right now. And we're also going to be talking about gas prices. A little bit of unrest in the Middle East, specifically Egypt. What's that doing to gas prices? We're going to be talking to Marie Dodds here in about 10 minutes with Oregon AAA, find out what's going on at the pump. And the last half of the show, we are going to talk about Brownsville's Festival of Trees, and a number of things going on in Brownsville. We're going to be talking to Sharon McCoy of the Chamber of Commerce in Brownsville here on Valley Talk, so stick around. Also, make sure you sign up for the Quiznos Taste on Us $10 gift certificate giveaway. We give away this every day during the show. All you have to do to enter is send me an email. Send it to dave@kgal.com or call the station at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. So you're interested to be put in the Quiznos Taste on Us giveaway. And at the end of the show, hopefully we'll pull your name out of the hat. Then you take the gift certificate in, and anything at Quiznos, sub sandwiches, drinks, chips, whatever, up to $10, take you and a buddy and have lunch on us, because the taste is on us at Valley Talk. And thank you to Quiznos in Albany, Dale and the crew for being a part of the Valley Talk family. So, thank you for being with us on the show today, and glad to have you with us. Eric, glad that you're with us here on Valley Talk.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's talk about the Tree of Remembrance ceremony, and it's part of the Victim Impact Panel, isn't it?
Yes.
What is the Victims Impact Panel, first of all?
Well, the Victims Impact Panel is ran by a group of law enforcement personnel, but also people intertwined in the law enforcement community. And our job is to administer a panel of victims for people who have been convicted and sentenced for DUI. As part of their sentencing, they have to attend this panel, and it's about a 3-hour panel. It's a one-time deal, and the panel is made up of victims of DUI crashes, or probably their families if the person was deceased, and they tell their story and they relate how the tragedy of the DUI affected their lives, and hopefully this will have an impact on future violations.
So what this is meant to do is the person who perpetrated the crime, it's to make them fully understand just what kind of emotional and personal impact this has had on the victims.
Absolutely, yes.
And hopefully make them really do some soul searching and just part of the process where, you know, you don't want to be drinking and driving, because when you do and bad things happen, this is what happens to people's lives.
Exactly.
Has this been effective?
It has. We do a lot of critiquing after the panels, and a lot of people are impacted, for lack of a better word, of the circumstances. So hopefully it does have a huge impact on people. We do get people from time to time that I've arrested that have been to it and decided to drive again, but hopefully those are few and far between.
So the Tree of Remembrance ceremony, what's going to be happening at the ceremony?
Well, this is our 15th annual. We do it at the beginning of the holiday season for a couple reasons. One is hopefully to have another impact on people and remind them about drinking and driving during the holiday season. But also it's mainly to set out and remember the victims and their families, and to show that they still are thought of and that the community supports them.
Where and when is it going to be held?
It's tomorrow night, the 29th, at the Albany City Hall in the council chambers at 7 p.m. It goes about a little over an hour, and we have a guest speaker. We also have entertainment, and then the names of the victims in Lynn County are read off.
Why do they call it Tree of Remembrance?
Well, we've used a tree for the Christmas holiday season, and we put the names of the victims on ornaments and hang them on the tree, and then the families they can take the ornaments at the end of the season if they wish to. So,
is there enough room in the galley section there? It's the City Hall Council Chambers in Albany, right?
Yes.
So there's plenty of room for people to come in and watch.
Absolutely. There will be chairs. It's open to the public. Absolutely.
Now, we've been mentioning this morning on KGAL, if you've been impacted by a drunk driver or an impaired driver, then you're inviting people to call the Albany Police Department and provide those names?
Yes. They can either call Officer Robert Hayes at the Albany Police Department, or they can call myself at the Oregon State Police Office here in Albany and provide those names. At this point, we probably might not be able to get it on the tree tomorrow, but we'll do our best. But the tree also, once we're done tomorrow night, the tree is moved over to the Heritage Mall and displayed through the Christmas holidays, and we can get the name on there.
Do they have pictures of people on the ornaments, or just the names?
Just the names.
Just the names.
Just the names.
So when they go to the City Hall Council Chambers, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, you mentioned entertainment.
Yes.
What does the program look like? I mean, do people give speeches or what?
We have one guest speaker this year. It's the incoming district attorney, Doug Martini. He's going to be our guest speaker. And then we'll have members of the Eugene Symphony perform. I don't know if you remember, but several years ago, the Eugene Symphony was impacted by a DUI driver in Lynn County, where a member of theirs was killed as a result. So they come and provide entertainment for the ceremony.
Makes a difference? The Tree of Remembrance ceremony makes a difference in people's life, you think?
I think so. There's quite a few families that show up year after year, and I think they always are very pleased with the process.
So you're a police officer. You see, or a state trooper?
Yes.
You see the impact of these kinds of crimes on people's lives, every time you go on patrol, possibly.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about impaired drivers. What are we seeing there? I know you don't have the official statistics in front of you, but what's your take on it? Are we seeing more, the same? What's going on in that particular area of infractions?
I think over my time on, I have almost 18 years on, there has been a decrease in the amount of alcohol impaired drivers. Not to the point where we'd like, obviously, but they're still out there, and it's not hard to find them. 10, 20 years ago is probably a little bit easier, but we have a lot of legislation that came into effect that hopefully deters people, monetary plus sentencing, incarceration terms. Hopefully that's had an impact, plus just education and awareness on the matter. I think the word's gotten out there pretty good, but despite all that, we still have people making that choice. And, I'm not quite sure why they make it. I can't make that guess, but there's enough of it going on. And then in that time, we've also seen an increase in the amount of, I'll just say drug-impaired drivers or other substances that impair. And we've seen an increase in that, plus also an awareness on our part, law enforcement's part, to detect and arrest those violators. It's become more culturally unacceptable to drink and drive. And you mentioned the public awareness piece. There's been a lot of very effective campaigns. And in, say, 20 years ago, you kind of, the boss is drunk, and just not mentioning anybody's specific boss, but you just kind of turn your, look the other way, and he'll probably get home okay. The public awareness or the public perception of that has changed quite a bit because of, like we mentioned, some very successful campaigns. Made a difference, huh? I think it has. We still got a long ways to go. There really is no justification in my mind. I mean, there's always alternatives. There's always different choices you can make. And a lot of times people set out thinking they're going to make that choice. They think they're going to get a designated driver, and there's some people that just blatantly ignore it. But it's still going to be a problem. Still going to go on. But what we can do is just keep trying to minimize the impact and try and whittle away at it the best we can.
I think there's been so many tragic stories of just very good people, strong contributing members to society, that their lives have been snuffed out because of an impaired driver, and it's just tragic. And so much of that's been going on that obviously that's helped turn the tide of public acceptance of this crime away from that to more to the point where people are taking keys away and being more forceful and saying, no, you're not driving. Let's talk about that for a little bit. If you're a trooper, and what would you advise people, let's say that we're at a party, and let's say Greg over there has had too much to drink and he's kind of belligerent and kind of big. But he wants to drive. I'm going to drive my cell phone, thank you very much. So what do you do to convince Greg, hey, Greg, you shouldn't be driving, and we're not going to let you drive?
Yeah, I mean, you can try and take his keys away, talk to him. I wouldn't suggest any physical type of,
He's a big guy.
Yeah, altercation or anything like that. Yeah. But you can be creative. Personally, I'd try and go out to their vehicle and pull the coil wire or something.
There you go.
But, nothing you can't cause damage to somebody's rig, but...
Don't pour sugar in the gas tank.
Yeah, exactly. But the ultimate thing you can do is to call the police. If they're determined in leaving, you call the police and you try and do your part up to that point. And yes, you're calling and turning somebody in, but you're probably saving a life. And a lot of times you can call in anonymously, and that's fine. But with the amount of cell phones out there, it's reporting DUIs is pretty common. So yeah, that ultimately, if you can't convince somebody not to drive, then call the police and get somebody on it.
What about we're kind of digressing here, going down one of my famous bunny trails, but the road rage, is that still an issue out there?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the more and more drivers you put on a highway system and more crowded it gets, you're going to get people. I mean, people have their lives to live, and sometimes people, they have 5 minutes to get someplace, but they leave, with 2 minutes to get there. And obviously, you've got a whole community traveling down Interstate 5 or Highway 34, other highways, and they've got their own thoughts to themselves on what their what's going on in their lives, and you never know. And you throw that in there, plus maybe a controlled substance or alcohol, and then you got other problems. But yes, you always have. There's always going to be the road rage out there. We don't really have a road rage law per se in Oregon. We have reckless driving and other things that are just fine. In my time, I think, many years on the interstate out here, one of the biggest things that can contribute to a pleasant drive is patience. Right. If people just exercise a little bit of patience and courtesy, then it probably deter a lot of that road rage stuff.
I was driving over the overpass here the other day on I-5. It was midnight. I think it was after a big game, and it was bumper-to-bumper traffic on I-5 coming from Eugene heading north, probably after a big game or a big party. I think it was a game. People can get kind of impatient.
Yes.
Drive on the road shoulder, try to go around, other people try to cut them off, and then you got a problem.
Yes, yeah. And, if you pass somebody on the shoulder here, we're going to arrest you. You're probably going to go to jail for reckless driving. It's just no call for it.
Okay, so just be patient.
Have some courtesy and back off.
Listen to the radio.
Yeah.
Listen to talk radio, and listen to KGAL, and we'll entertain you while you're in your traffic on I-5 waiting. And don't worry, you will get there. It might be 10 minutes later than when you're going to get there, but you'll get there.
Yes.
So, Eric, anything else that we would like to mention about the Tree of Remembrance? It's free of charge?
Yes, it is.
Do they have to pre-register or just show up?
No, just show up. We have a guest book. We always like to know who's coming. There is actually refreshments, too, afterwards. If you have a chance, you can talk to one of the board members or, the incoming district attorney. If you have something you'd like to talk to them about regarding DUI, they'll be there. And it's just a nice beginning to the holiday season to get together and remember those that have lost their lives or been severely impacted by a DUI driver. And
now this is important to the families too. Families
Absolutely.
That are there.
Yeah.
What does it mean to them?
It means a ton to them. I still get hugs from family members where I've investigated numerous DUI fatal crashes. And over the years, and I still see the people after 10 years, and it's still nice for them to have that connection.
Okay. Eric, thank you for all you do as state police, and thank you for being involved in the victims panel and Tree of Remembrance ceremony, and thank you for what you do every day.
You're welcome. Thank you.
This is Valley Talk, and we will continue in just a moment. Next item on the agenda is gas prices. We'll be talking to Marie Dodds about what's going on in the pump and what we can expect in the future. Stay with us.
Awesome Dufour knows it's those little things that make a difference. That's why at Awesome Dufour Funeral Home, they'll take your treasured pictures and create a professional quality DVD of your loved one. Why settle for a slideshow when you can have so much more? Creating that special memorial that allows you to celebrate life. Service beyond your expectations is what you get when you call on Awesome Dufour Funeral Home. Awesome Dufour on Ellsworth in Albany.
The 13s are on the way, so the 2012s need to move. Wilson Motors in Corvallis is geared up to move every remaining new 2012 Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram truck in stock. Now's the best time to buy and take advantage of the great prices and incentives on all new 2012 vehicles. It's the Big Finish 2012 at Wilson Motors. Save big, save now at Wilson Motors, where you'll see the notable difference in your buying experience. Wilson Motors, 5th and Buchanan, Corvallis. Online at saveatwilson.com.
If you love to read, you'll find the books that satisfy Saturday during the huge Christmas sale for the Friends of the Lebanon Library. You'll find hardcovers and softcovers in fiction or nonfiction, from romance to mysteries, autobiographies to kids' books, even how to do almost anything books. Donations of books, tapes, and DVDs are welcome and volunteers needed. For more details, call 541-258-2758. Inside the Lebanon Senior Center this Saturday, the huge Christmas sale for the Friends of the Lebanon Library.
Hi, this is Shannon Jones of Jones 5 Auto Sales on 9th Street in Corvallis. If you're looking to purchase a quality pre-owned car, truck, van, or SUV this fall, then I personally invite you to stop in and see our selection. Every vehicle is AutoCheck certified, passed inspection, and is upfront priced. Good luck this fall to the local high school teams, and go Beavs, enjoy your bowling season. Check us out at our 3 locations on 9th Street in Corvallis, online at jones5auto.com, and like us on Facebook. You'll love the way I do things.
The Albany Historic Interior Tours Committee presents the 33rd Annual Christmas Parlor Tour of Historic Homes, Museums, and Churches, Sunday, December 9th. Several historic homes will have their beautifully decorated parlors open, plus music, refreshments, horse-drawn wagon rides, and vintage trolley rides, all included in the $15 ticket price. Well-behaved children under 12 are admitted free with a paid adult. You'll see private homes and several public sites, including Albany's oldest private home, now the Monteith House Museum, lit by oil lamp and firelight, plus the Carousel Art Studio and Densel American Carousel Museum. See the decorated Victorian splendor of Albany's historic districts, both outside and in, Sunday, December 9th, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tickets available from 1 p.m. on tour day at the Albany Visitor Center, 3rd and Lyons, downtown.
Jim Bohannon, weeknights on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
We continue Valley Talk, and on the phone line with us right now is Marie Dodds of Oregon AAA. Marie, thank you for being with us on the program today.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, what is going on with the price of gas at the pumps? One of the things that we were concerned about this morning was the news, the unrest that we're seeing in Egypt. Has that had a toll yet?
You know, it hasn't yet, and it's very interesting, and it's certainly something that definitely has the potential to impact crude oil prices. But as of today, crude oil prices are actually a bit lower than they were yesterday. In trading right now, crude is around $86 a barrel. It was well over $87 yesterday. So it just really varies what investors get moved by. Today, investors seem more concerned about the looming fiscal cliff here in the United States, as well as a stronger dollar, which means investors are less likely to invest in crude oil. And so it just really is a day-to-day thing. But of course, anytime we have unrest in the Middle East, it definitely has the potential to send those crude prices higher.
What about the fiscal cliff? We hear a lot of talk in the news about that these days. Possibly in speculation prices on oil. Will that possibly have an impact? Do we know yet?
Yes, that will definitely have an impact as well. And in fact, today, looking at commodity markets, including crude oil, they're all running a bit lower because of the budget crisis in the U.S. And the reason is that if the U.S. were to go into a fiscal crisis and off the fiscal cliff, as we've dubbed it, this would mean that the economy would probably not be as healthy and strong. And so that puts downward pressure on oil prices because the thought is a healthy, growing economy is going to consume more oil. So that's why anytime we tend to get negative economic news, crude oil prices and also the prices of many commodities tend to go down.
What are we seeing now at the pumps? We're seeing Oregon's average price come into line more with the national average and actually a bit better than that.
Yeah, in fact, the Oregon average is just within a few cents of the national average, and that's something that we don't see very often. Our current national average is $3.41. Our current Oregon average is $3.47, so we're just 6 cents apart. And a lot of times, especially earlier this fall, we were talking about how Oregon's average was as much as 30 cents higher than the national average. So that gap is closing. The other interesting fact right now about Oregon's gas prices is that Oregon normally is in the top 10 most expensive states for gas. We all know gasoline tends to be more expensive here on the West Coast. But this week, both Oregon and Washington are well out of the top 10. And in fact, Oregon is 23rd most expensive this week, down from 18th a week ago. And Washington State is 22nd most expensive. So we are in the middle of the pack in the 50 states. And that's something, again, we don't see very often.
So the downward pressure is good in seeing those prices come down and continue to come down. As far as refinery maintenance and so on and so forth, barring any fires, are there anything on the near-term horizon as far as refineries going offline or maintenance or anything like that we're aware of at this point?
Unfortunately, those are always unexpected and unanticipated events because obviously it's very difficult to predict which refinery might have some kind of equipment malfunction. It's like trying to predict when your car might break down. So at least right now, everything seems to be up and running, and the United States does have plenty of oil supplies, which is also good when you think about heading into the winter season. You always want to have plenty of oil on hand for heating needs as well as fuel needs.
We've talked to people that have been tracking the Black Friday and Cyber Monday prices, and they're attributing the decreased gas and the decreased price at the pump to help spur those retail sales on Black Friday.
I think gasoline prices do have a ripple effect across the entire economy. And as we've talked before, every dollar you have in your pocket that you don't have to spend on gasoline is a dollar that you have to potentially spend on something else. So I think that having these lower gas prices, especially during the holiday season, is helpful because, let's face it, a lot of us have gifts to buy, holiday meals, all of that. So it does make it a bit easier to spend more on a gift if you're not shelling out quite as much money at the pumps.
So short-term forecast, crystal ball, what are we seeing future?
Well, you know what? I have to pat myself on the back here. We get to do that when we make correct predictions.
It's nice to be right, isn't it?
Yeah, and I know it doesn't happen that often, so you got to pat yourself on the back. But AAA predicted that Oregon's average would be somewhere in the vicinity of 350 or maybe even lower at Thanksgiving, and we definitely were. And we thought that our national average would be in the 340 range by Thanksgiving, and that certainly was. By the end of the year, it's possible we could see gas prices continue to drift lower. We could see our national average go as low as 320, but I think that's probably pushing it. But in Oregon, I think we have the potential to drop a few more cents, a dime, maybe 20 cents or more by the end of the year. But again, we'll have to watch what happens in the Middle East. That could send prices up again in a hurry. And likewise, all the developments in Washington, D.C. surrounding the fiscal cliff will definitely have an impact on commodities and therefore oil prices as well.
Do you ever think we'll see gas below $3 a gallon?
You learn to never say never in the world of fuel because remember 2008 we peaked at well above $4 a gallon that summer. It was the first time that prices climbed that high, and we ended that year below $2 a gallon as the economy was going down the tanks. So you just never say never. At this point, I think a lot would have to happen for a lot of probably bad economic news would have to happen in order to bring gas prices down below that $3 mark here in Oregon. So you have to balance things. Do you want your home to lose value, your 401k to lose value, and the economy to really tank in order to get those cheap gas prices again, really cheap, below $2 or $2.50 a gallon? Or, you know, the trade-off is that as the economy chugs along and gets healthier and home values and 401k values increase, chances are gas prices and oil prices are going to increase as well. They tend to float along with the overall market.
Remember the old Fram oil commercial where the greasy mechanic says, "You're going to pay me now, you're going to pay me later."
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
You know, it's all interrelated, and it really does work like that. I know we'd all like to have cheaper gas prices, but usually if we are in a period of severely dropping gas prices, it's because we have a whole lot of other economic problems as well.
Okay, Maria, pleasure talking to you. Looking forward to hopefully gas prices continue to come down, hopefully not at the expense of the economy, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And right now prices are going down because of lower crude prices and also because of the winter blends of fuel. So that's okay. We just don't want the economy to tank and have bad gas prices.
Okay, well, you have a great holiday. Hope you had a good Turkey Day, and Merry Christmas, and we'll be in touch.
Same to you, Dave. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Marie Dodds, Oregon AAA. This is Valley Talk. A couple things that we want to mention are, don't forget to sign up for the Quiznos Taste on Us. Just send me an email, dave@kgal.com. You can also call the station at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. Say you want to be put into the Quiznos Taste on Us drawing. Delicious sandwiches. I have one every day. And thanks to Dale and the crew there for being a part of the Valley Talk family. Tomorrow on Valley Talk, we're going to be talking to Maria Delapore, the superintendent of the Albany School District. The Albany School Board agreed unanimously to deny an application to open a charter school next fall. They made that decision Monday, citing finances as the biggest issue. We're going to be talking to her about that. And we've been talking about charter schools on the program before. We'll be talking about it again tomorrow. And look forward to having you tune in on the program for that to find out what's going on with her, what the thinking of the school this district is, as we talk more in depth about that. Coming up after the break, we're going to be going to Brownsville and talking about the Festival of Trees, the historic nature of the community, and there's a few other Brownsville events that are going on there that they want to visit about, and we'll do that next on Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams, and the show will continue in just a moment.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Angie's List. Get reviews you can trust and great discounts from service providers right in your own area. Coming up, a special offer for you. This is Charles Osgood. The government has come in for a lot of criticism for getting in the way of private enterprise and stifling economic growth, but there's at least one area where the government has stepped up and helped growth big time. That, as our CBS News colleague Wyatt Andrews can tell you, is the app economy.
This marriage of smartphones, public information, and private ingenuity has helped drive an exploding app economy that's grown in value from $0 to $20 billion in just 4 years.
How about saving somebody's life in a medical emergency? Yes, there's an app for that. It's called iTriage, as you'll hear after this. With our busy lives these days, finding time for repairs or even maintenance around the house can be a challenge. So don't let a home project gone wrong ruin your holiday spirit. Do what I've done and sign up for Angie's List. Get real reviews from other Angie's List members to quickly find out the right people in your area to work on your home. Just search angieslist.com or call their live support center to find the best professionals in over 500 categories. Roofers, plumbers, heating and furnace repair, and so much more. I'm proud to be a member of Angie's List. I told Angie so myself. And we talked about you, too. More than 1 million members check Angie's List before they hire, and so should you. Sign up today, and since you listen to the Osgood File, get 20% off your Angie's List membership. Just go to angieslist.com. When you sign up, enter my last name as the promo code, Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's angieslist.com, promo code Osgood, or call 1-888-888-LIST and mention Osgood. We asked Wyatt Andrews to tell us about the iTriage app.
iTriage was the brainchild of private app developers, but its inner workings rely on data from the United States government.
The Ketterers, Bob and Melissa of Irving, Texas, are not especially computer savvy, but as Melissa says,
you don't need a master's degree to be able to use an app.
One day in April, Bob Ketterer, with no sense of alarm, said his right arm felt numb.
Melissa typed Bob's symptoms into the iTriage app on her iPhone.
Numbness popped up, and at the very top of the list is stroke.
The app not only warned of a possible stroke, it advised going straight to the emergency room and then gave directions to the closest one. And doctors stopped it before he suffered major brain damage. Have you thought about what might have happened if you didn't move?
I would have gone, fine, take a nap, I'll check on you in a few hours. And he could very well be dead.
To Melissa Ketterer, the benefits of this handheld information industry came clear on an April afternoon. With her husband's life in the balance, she had an app for that.
The Osgood File. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Volcanoes baseball is where Giants' dreams began as they celebrate their 17th season on opening night, Friday, June 14th, and you're invited to be there to join the fun and festive event as tickets are on sale now. Tickets for opening night, Father's Day, the Patriotic Independence Day games, 8 post-game fireworks nights are all on sale now. How about a 5-game ticket plan? It includes the opening night game and has 2 nights featuring post-game fireworks. Get your tickets now by calling 503-390-2225 or visit the Stadium Pro Shop featuring baseball hats and balls from every major league team and great memorabilia from the Giants' 2010 and 2012 World Series championships. Best sellers include Volcanoes tickets, jackets, sweatshirts, men's and women's t-shirts, golf shirts, caps, baseball cards, and collectibles. Your Salem Kaiser Volcanoes, proud affiliates of the 2012 World Series Championship San Francisco Giants. Whether it's season tickets or a 5 or 10 game ticket plan or tickets for individual games, Volcanoes baseball. Fun, well done.
When you look out across Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. But we're here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other in fact. Hi, I'm Dave Wood, President and CEO of Willamette Community Bank. We provide an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that? Willamette Community Bank, service like no other, we promise. Member FDIC.
Laugh, cry, or get scared spitless with When Radio Was. Weeknights at 10 on 1580 KGAL.
And this is Valley Talk, and a very good morning. I'm Dave Adams, and the third part of the show today, we're going to be talking about all things Brownsville. Very unique community, very historical community. I've driven through there a number of times. I was always impressed by just the feel of it, just the historical nature. Love Oregon's history, and Brownsville, I'm just told a few moments ago, is one of the oldest communities in the state of Oregon. So let's find out about it. On the phone, we have Sharon McCoy of the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce. Sharon, thank you for being with us on Valley Talk today.
Thank you for calling us.
And Joe Deserney is a longtime resident. We'll be talking to him in just a few moments. He's been there since the 70s, and we'll be talking about some of the history of Brownsville. So first of all, Sharon, let's talk about the Festival of Trees. When is it? What can we expect?
It's part of our holidays in downtown Brownsville, and it starts November 30th and ends on December 8th. This weekend, the kickoff is on November 30th, and we also have a tree lighting that evening at 6 o'clock. Main Street Band is going to be playing, and we're actually going to have some carolers. It's a walking tour, Best Bites of Brownsville, around the downtown area, and it's offering food sampling and beverages, and it's just a real nice community feel, small town America. And during that, we have 31 Christmas trees decorated by all kinds of different people.
Do people come from out of the area to attend the Festival of Trees because of we mentioned the homey feel, historical feel, the real nice...
Well, it's the Central End area, Halsey Shed, Brownsville, but we have people coming from other places, yes. It's like, so they kind of like the charm of Brownsville.
There you go. So Mayberry is still alive in Oregon.
Yeah, absolutely.
The good aspects of it.
Yes, yeah. It's a wonderful community. And it's a real time for people to get out and see one another. And we have a number of restaurants here in town that people can enjoy.
It's always nice to know, when you live in Brownsville, you probably know everybody, don't you? Pretty much.
Well, you think you do, but there's a lot of people that it's kind of a bedroom community for, Eugene and Corvallis and Albany, so you don't always know everybody, but it's a good chance to meet them.
But it's still that nice homey feel. Nice.
It is, very, very much. We only grow good people here in town.
There you go. Is that your mission statement for the Chamber?
Yes. Yeah.
How long has the Festival of Trees been going on?
I think approximately about 5 years. And the nice thing that I like about the Festival of Trees is we have so many people participating. It's, we have businesses, civic organizations, preschool classes, churches, individuals, and it's just a good time. Our nonprofit here in town is Sharing Hands, and they always do a tree, and it's a good time for people to kind of get together and hang out and decorate a tree, and it goes for a good cause.
So how do they raise money at the Festival of Trees? Do they sell the ornaments in the trees, sell the tree?
We sell the trees. The chamber provides the tree and the stand and actually a bag to put it in so you can move it and make it mobile, to take it to your home, or we encourage people to buy one for their neighbor or for a nursing home. And it raises funds for the chamber, and it helps us. We have flower baskets here in town. It helps us pay for those. It helps pay for some Christmas banners we bought this year. So it just helps us. It helps support the chamber so we can support the businesses here in town and just hopefully have an economic help out.
There you go. What is the dates for the Festival of Trees? And then again, mention the date and time for the tree lighting, please.
The Festival of Trees is November 30th, and it goes through December 8th. And the trees are placed in the businesses, and so you can kind of walk through the downtown core, and it lends itself very well to holidays. And then there are also two buildings that have, a majority of them, but the businesses all have trees in them.
Mm-hmm. What other holiday events are going on in Brownsville?
Well, then we have a fabulous art association here. They have their own quarters, and this weekend they're having a holiday art and fine crafts show and sale. It's on North Main, right by City Hall, and they have local artists, ceramic, glass art, fiber art, handcrafted soaps, beautiful photography, paintings. I mean, it's just classic. And I think they're doing an event from 1 to 5, November 29th, clear through December 22nd.
Okay. What one word would... Now, how long have you lived in Brownsville?
Well, I've lived here 43 years, but I am from the Central End area, so all my life.
What one word, if you had to pick one word to describe Brownsville, what would it be?
Charming.
Very good. As far as the Chamber of Commerce and other events, is the historical nature of the community the biggest draw as we look, around the year, the annual draw to Brownsville, other than, of course, the Christmas celebrations? But is the historical nature of Brownsville the biggest draw from bringing people out of the area?
I think that's probably true. I think the setting and the charm, I would say, is definitely. And the other thing that brings a lot of people to town is, of course, the movie Stand By Me was filmed here. And that still has a huge following. And so we have, things at the museum, and a lot of people from the Asian countries come here for Stand By Me.
Who was in that movie? I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, who was in the movie Stand By Me? I can't remember.
I'll have to look it up here in a minute.
Yeah.
Hey, Sharon, thank you for your comments. Is Joe Desarney there, and could you hand the phone to him, please?
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thanks for visiting with us on Valley Talk.
Hello.
Hey, Joe, thanks for being with us on Valley Talk today.
Good, yeah, glad to be here.
So you've been in Brownsville since the 70s. I guess we can call you a long-time resident there. You can kind of fill us in on some of the historical perspective. We've been talking about the charm of the community, the history, the vast amount of history that's available in Brownsville. You're telling me that it's one of the oldest settlements or towns in Oregon, is that right?
That's correct, yeah. Late 1840s, and we had a trading post here called Kirk's Ferry, and that's everyone came through this part of the valley. In fact, I've always heard that it almost was the county seat at one time. So, yeah, at one time there were over 10,000 people living here when sheep and hops were the big commodities. We had a woolen mill, we had tons of industry here at one time. And then it all went away and moved on. So now we have this great little community.
Now you lived there since the mid-70s, 78, 70?
That's right.
Okay.
72, I came here and bought a building and opened an antique business.
What brought you to Brownsville, and then why do you stay?
I came here because of the antique business, was looking for a place to locate. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I drove over the bridge in Brownsville and knew I was going to live here. I think you'll hear that from a lot of residents of Brownsville. The Chamber has adopted a theme in Brownsville. Brownsville welcomes you home, and that's basically how it feels when you get here.
So you came from New Jersey to Brownsville. Did you just put your finger on a map, or did you drive through on a trip?
No. I had relatives. We were living in Eugene for about 6 months until we are looking for a place to locate our business. And came here and found an old building. I love restoring old buildings. We're working on 2 or 3 of them right now. So
in Brownsville. In Brownsville,
that's correct. Yeah.
There's a new restaurant in town.
Right, Kirk's Ferry Restaurant, which is, again, part of the history of Brownsville. Inside the restaurant is the original log cabin, which was the trading post. Supposedly the oldest log cabin structure in Oregon, still standing.
And we've had the principals of Kirk's Ferry here on Valley Talk I think it was about 2 or 3 months ago.
That's correct, probably when they were getting ready to open.
They're open now?
Yes, they're open.
All right. The Lynn County Museum is in the community as well. That's
correct, right. And it's one of the best museums in Oregon if you've never been here. And then we also have the historic Moyer House here. So we actually have 2 or 3 museums. So
is there a tremendous interest in the Asian community particularly? The Asian community really like Oregon. They like the trees and the forests and the coast, and they just like Oregon. Do you get a lot of Asian visitors to Brownsville?
Yes. I used to be in the restaurant business here, and we used to get them in all the time. And part of it was because Stand By Me was made here, and it's sort of a cult movie in Japan. So they come here to see where Stand By Me was made. We actually have a walking tour about all the sites around town that were used in the film.
And they also like the American West. They really love the American West in Japan.
That's correct. Yeah. There's it's something about the coming of age that I guess the movie was about. So they love the history. So we get a lot that come up to both the universities, OSU and University, and Brownsville's always on their must-see list, is what they tell me.
Richard Dreyfuss was in the movie, Will Wheaton, River Phoenix,
that's
so on and
correct.
so forth.
Right. And it was Rob Reiner's first film, so, that's what made him famous, really.
Coming-of-age film, and it was filmed in 1986, apparently.
Yes, right. Shut down the whole town while they were filming it. It was great.
Were you there when they were doing that?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We'll talk to the folks in Brownsville about some of the other things going on in the community. This is Valley Talk. Don't forget to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us, $10 certificate we're going to be giving away at the end of this show. Just send an email to dave@kgal.com, put Quiznos Taste on Us on the subject line, or call the station at 926-KGAL or 451-KGAL. We'll put you in the drawing. Hopefully, we'll draw your name at the end of the show. Valley Talk will continue in just a moment.
What's better than watching football on Monday night? How about hanging out with a Seahawks player and Seagals while you watch the game at Seahawks headquarters? Enter to win the Monday Night Viewing Party Sweepstakes, brought to you by Subway Restaurants of Western Washington and Coke Zero. You and 11 friends could win an exclusive invitation to watch the December 17th Jets-Titans TV broadcast at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center with a Seahawks player and Seagals. Enter to win the ultimate Monday Night Viewing Party at Seahawks.com/viewing party.
Bertram's Metals in Albany would like to take a minute to thank our veterans. We should all be thankful daily for the privilege of living in the United States and being surrounded with all the comforts and luxuries that we have. Veterans Day is a special time of year that we focus on remembering and thanking anyone who has worn a uniform for the United States of America. Please join Bertram's Metals in thanking our veterans. Bertram's Metals at 34th and Pacific Boulevard Southwest in Albany, and on the web at bertramsmetals.com.
The 2010 Town and Country Christmas Bazaar is this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the beautiful Lynn County Fair and Expo Center in Albany. Over 200 booths, free parking, and admission only $1. Enjoy music and magic with Mrs. Claus. Visit Christmas Storybook Land and get all your shopping done for gifts and decorating. Friday from noon to 9 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sunday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Town and Country Christmas Bazaar at the Lynn County Fair and Expo Center this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Don't miss the Downtown Twice Around Christmas Parade and Tree Lighting December 2nd. This year's lighted parade starts Sunday at 5, followed by the ceremonial lighting of the community Christmas tree. In the planning since January, the evening promises to be outstanding. And you can't beat Christmas shopping in downtown Albany. Clothing, fine jewelry, do-it-yourself craft stores, furniture, toys, gifts, salons. You can find everything that's on your shopping list. This Christmas season, it's all happening in historic downtown Albany.
The Subaru Share the Love event is going on now at John and Phil Subaru in Corvallis. Save with Subaru deals at the only Subaru dealer in the Mid-Willamette Valley. From the coast of the Cascades, Corvallis to Albany, John and Phil Subaru has the new compact SUV to the pet-friendly family wagons and high-performance cars to outdoor sports like skiing and fishing, and one of the safest vehicles in the automotive world, all help make Subaru the world's top-selling four-wheel drive vehicle. Buy now during the Subaru Share the Love event going on now at John and Phil Subaru in Corvallis off Highway 99W at 800 Northwest 5th Street in Corvallis.
What better Christmas gift could you get someone this year than something they will use, sometimes every day, that they don't expect, that they will love? Thoughtful, creative, quick, and inexpensive. Gateway Imprints in Lebanon can customize iPhone or iPad cases, blankets, t-shirts, jackets, plaques, mugs, golf balls, practically anything you can think of with a picture, a name, or a logo. No minimum orders and no limit to the fun you'll have creating a custom Christmas gift. That's Gateway Imprints, 585 Park in Lebanon, or gatewayimprints.com.
You can call us lefty or you can call us righty. We just call it Smarty Talk on 1580 KGAL.
All things Brownsville. That's what we're talking about as we're back live once again on Valley Talk. I'm Dave Adams. Thank you for being with us on the show. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to be talking to Maria Delapar, the superintendent of the Albany School District, about the school board's decision to deny an application to open a charter school next fall, citing finances as the biggest issue there. We're going to be talking about that as part of the show for tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for Valley Talk tomorrow. Today, though, right now we're talking about Brownsville. We've talked about the Festival of Trees. We'll talk about that again. But on the phone with us right now is Joe Dzerny, longtime resident and also a restorer of antiquities, a restorer of buildings in Brownsville. Joe, I guess you're working on some other projects. Can you tell us about those a little bit?
Yes, I'm actually in the middle of restoring the oldest building, wooden structure still left in Brownsville that hasn't burned.
What is it?
And excuse me?
What structure is that?
Well, it's the drugstore on the corners, basically, as it's known here in town.
Okay.
And it used to be the corner cafe, and that's what burned here, and it's being restored, and I'm going to open an antique store in it.
How is antiquities or antiques as a business? Is it a thriving business now? People interested in it?
It's always thriving. It's more or less like a sickness for those of us who do it. It's always feast or famine. And it seems to go by what people have in magazines, decorating magazines anymore. So, yeah, it is a thriving business. It'll be a business that's always around. Even though Oregon is young as far as history goes, we still have our own Oregon, unique to Oregon antiques, the way things were built and the way things were done by the early settlers here. So, yes.
Personally, now, you lived in Brownsville since the 70s. There's certain things that we need in this country, and one is small-town America, don't you agree? And you would like to see Brownsville continue the way it has in the future?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we don't have any big box stores here. Like I said, we're still a living community. We still have, the doctor, the dentist, the hardware store, the post office, and again, restaurants and gift stores. And so you don't ever have to leave Brownsville. We have 2 doctors here, and, so it's a great place. It's small town America. Everybody knows your name, and So we're real excited that that's still happening here.
Just as they say in the Cheers song, it actually happens in Brownsville, right?
That's correct. That's right.
There you go.
That's
Hey,
right.
let's talk once again to Sharon McCoy, and we want to talk about the Best Bite event.
Hello.
Hey, Sharon, Dave Adams, KGAL Valley Talk. We're live on the air once again. We wanted to talk about the Best Bite event.
Yes, it's called the Best Bites of Brownsville.
Best Bites of Brownsville.
Yes, and it, like I said, it includes a tree lighting and caroling, and like I said, the Main Street Band is going to be playing, and it's the businesses in the downtown are doing some wonderful food and drink items, but also the south side of town, which is across the river, is participating this year, and I think there's like 15 different places for you to go have appetizers and cookies and all kinds of baked pies and, actual food. And the tickets are $10. And it's a great way to kind of get in the Christmas spirit.
And what is the date? What is the dates of that again? Is it just
Friday
one day?
night. Friday night, November 30th, from 4 to 7.
Where do you get tickets, or do you show up?
And tickets, I believe, are available at Key Bank, Wear Me Jewels. There's 2 other places. Let me see. I know those 2 places. The Brownsville Saloon and Divine Coffee.
You still have a saloon in Brownsville.
We still have a saloon in Brownsville, absolutely. It's like stepping back in time.
Is still a hitching post out front?
No, it doesn't have a hitching post.
Oh, okay. Let's talk again about the Festival of Trees. If people just tuned in, that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on the show. Let's talk about the date, time, the Festival of Trees, and the tree lighting. If we could refresh people's memories on that. When is that scheduled?
It starts November 30th and runs through December 8th. And the bidding on the trees, there's a clipboard by each tree and says who decorated it, and the bids are in $10 increments. And the bidding ends at 1 o'clock on Saturday, December 8th, which is also the open house in Brownsville, and businesses are open, and there's Santa comes and does things with the kids that day also.
One of the last questions I'm going to ask you is, why does America need small towns like Brownsville?
Why does America need small towns? I think this is...
That's your essay question for the day.
That's my essay question for the day.
Yeah.
Because it's pleasant to live life in small town America.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's a blessing to be here.
And
See people you know, and people generally take the time to care about one another. We are a community.
That's nice to see. When you go to the bigger cities, God love them, and there's lots of things to do, and the shiny lights and all that stuff, but it's nice to be able to just kind of kick back and walk up to somebody on the street and not be worried that they're going to take your wallet.
Lots of people that have chosen to move here, they're amazed at how there are so many things to do here in small town America. And like I said, we have a wonderful art gallery, there's art classes, there's book clubs, there's a wonderful library, and people just welcome you.
All right. Hey, Sharon, we've just got a few more seconds to go in the show. If people want to contact the Brownsville Chamber of Commerce, how do they contact you?
You can go on historicbrownsville.com, and it'll come up, and you can hit events, and you can email us that way.
What's your phone number?
And the phone number is 466-3390. If it's questions about the Festival of Trees, you may call my home, 466-5566.
And that's going to about do it for the show. We're going to wrap it up. This is KGAL Valley Talk. Sharon, thanks for being with us. Have a good day and enjoy.
The Mid-Valley home of Smart Talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.